What's up, everybody? Icebox Gamer here, coming to you with a little pre-E3 discussion, mainly about obviously Microsoft's conference and kind of what I think they might come out swinging with, and what we'd like to see, and a couple other things that have come up in Twitter and whatnot from the Microsoft execs today. Anyhow, just to dive deep into it, I suppose. Mike Ybarra today on Twitter sent out a tweet about being able to help creators, push their goals the best they can, and by unlocking an additional gigabyte of RAM from what was before, like they had it split up at 8 gigs for games and then 4 gigs for the OS. And so now it's, I'm assuming, down to 3 gigs for the OS, and then now it's 9 gigs open for games. So that's pretty cool. A little bit what so-called bombshell, if you will. Stuff already starting to come out before E3, which is just like Christmas. It's just, as a gamer, it's the most wonderful time of year. We get to see all the exciting stuff that everybody's been working on, all the developers and platform holders and all that kind of stuff. But so that, that's pretty exciting stuff coming out already. I'm really digging the small Scorpio advertisements that Microsoft has been just kind of throwing on their Xbox channel about feel the power, and all that cool stuff. And I think there's going to be a lot of cool things coming out of this show. I think it's one of the most important ones in a long time for Microsoft. A lot of people are kind of up in arms like, hey, you could have the most powerful console, but if you don't have games, it ain't worth anything. And games do drive console sales, obviously. But, as just a gamer and as a fan and all that, I'm so excited for Project Scorpio. And, I love multi-plat games too. I obviously love first party. So we'll see what they got cooking, what they got going on. Head of Xbox, Phil Spencer, today also on Twitter, sent out to everybody about show might last longer than 90 minutes, kind of just to let everybody know type of thing, because they wanted to fit in all the games that they wanted to show. They didn't want to leave anything out, which is great, which is awesome. It's one time a year where you got all eyes on you, aside from like GDC or Gamescom or anything like that. But so to have all eyes on you, you want to bring the big guns and tell everybody your story and what you've been up to and all that good stuff. So just to roll into my predictions anyways for E3, I feel like they're going to open up kind of like how they did with the Xbox One S last year, and just roll into showing Project Scorpio. A couple names I've heard. I personally think we're going to see Xbox One Elite or Xbox One X, something along those lines. The more and more, I don't know, this chatter that you start hearing, and I mean, granted, it's just all rumors or whatnot until anything's confirmed. If they came out at $399, which I expect them to have one SKU at $399, maybe a SKU for $499, where it has maybe some type of SSD drive, or maybe it comes with an Elite controller or something to that nature. That's what I'm guessing. $399 and $499, two different SKUs. But them coming and swinging at $399, it's a good thing. They got, it's the old Microsoft. They're being that really competitive nature, and just very confident in their product and what they've got and what they've been working on. And it's going all the way back to like Xbox Game Pass and Xbox 360 backwards compat. Very pro-consumer moves. Whether whoever says backwards compatibility, nobody uses it, blah 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 blah. Well, we all know that's kind of a lie. I think it's great. I think it's pro-consumer. I think it gives the consumers more choice, and ultimately we all win in the end. One company gets more competitive than the other, then they battle back and forth, and so we'll see what happens. I'm going to watch Sony's conference. I'm going to watch Nintendo's little Nintendo Direct and Treehouse, and we're going to see some great stuff out of there. But The other thing is, I think we're going to see like a version 2 of the Xbox One Elite controller. Possibly maybe Design Lab Elite controllers now. We're going to see Crackdown, I think Crackdown will be out this fall. I think it'll be right at either Scorpio launch title or just shortly after. Sea of Thieves, I think, will be delayed until next year. I mean, we're still in the alpha stage at this point. We'll see some new content on that. We'll see some third-party stuff. Assassin's Creed Unity, I expect to be on the Microsoft stage. I don't know about the new Splinter Cell that everybody's been kind of hearing about. It might be on Ubisoft stage. It may be on Xbox. Who knows? I expect to see a few other third-party type game trailers or whatnot on there. But obviously, like we know, with Call of Duty, Destiny 2, Star Wars Battlefront 2, all those games are more than likely going to be on Sony's stage since they've got the marketing deal with that. So I expect $399, Xbox One X or Xbox One Elite, somewhere around those lines. Two different SKUs, $399 and $499. And I've heard a lot of different things. I think the release date is going to be anywhere from the beginning to middle of October to the beginning of November. I feel with them talking about being ahead and them wanting to, they're talking about how the best versions of third-party games are going to be, you're going to want to play them on Scorpio. To be able to say that, you definitely don't want to come out 2 months after those games have come out. So I feel that they're going to be trying to get this thing out early October to get ahead of those big releases. Aside from Destiny 2, which is that's in September, so it's kind of out there. Just obviously not going to happen that way, but all the other big games. And so I think we're in for a real treat and a good conference, and we'll see what happens. I'll be trying to post plenty more videos talking about different things throughout the conference, maybe get some reactions and stuff like that. So anyhow, until next time.